I never believed in the afterlife. All my life, I have heard various iterations of it, but for some reason, I never bought into it. Maybe it was the various TV shows trying to scare the hell out of you with dramatic reenactments and the spooky music. And so I became convinced the idea of life after the death has some sort of hidden agenda. I have never seen proof of it myself, and everyone I knew that believed it was naive. So again, I'm going to say I never believed in the afterlife until one fateful day. It was near the end of my second year of college, and already the social life was catching up to me. My friend I had made the year before had invited me to various parties, and I started going boy crazy. My mom, of course, didn't know about it, at least not outright. Her mom rather was telling her I was up to something because she saw my grades and how they were slipping from A's and B's to C and D's. Shockingly, she never said anything, and it almost made me feel worse. I messed up. I knew it, my mom knew it, but the silence of it all was killing me. I was failing my mom, but I didn't know how to talk to her. It was at this point that things began to get weird. You see, things that happened throughout my childhood started happening again. Ever since I could remember, our house seemed to be haunted. It was never anything too strange, but something invisible would touch me. It was such a simple gesture, but it always scared the life out of me. And now it was happening again at college. Sometimes it was a touch on the shoulder, and I would turn and expect mom to be standing there, but she was in another room or just not at home altogether. The oddest thing that happened was when I felt 3 taps on my back. I never told my mom about it because who would believe it? I occasionally asked if she was in my room or other things to rationally explain it, but nothing ever quite fit. But now, for the first time in my life, this was happening outside of my house. Usually, this was after a hard night of partying and being stupid. I would come back to my dorm and I would feel the invincible hand on me. I dismissed it as being too drunk, but it was happened way too often and at times when I didn't drink anything. It bothered me to the point that I had to talk to my mom. It was driving me absolutely crazy, and I felt it was time to talk about other things too. Hey, can I talk to you about something? I prompted her one night. Of course, sweetie, what is it? Mom said, her eyes intently focused on me now. She had probably been waiting all year for me to say something like this. We were closer when I was younger, but like a typical teenager, I distanced myself from her in favor of my friends. I'm not sure how to start, so I will blurt it out. I've been partying a lot. Like out drinking with your friends partying? Yeah, I thought as much. Yeah, and I don't know, I feel like maybe I feel like instead of hiding it, I might as well talk about it. You're my mom after all. Well, that's great. It's all I've ever wanted. I have known this year has been very different for you. Your attitude has changed and your grades are sleeping, but I try not to pry, and I also want you to learn how to mess up on your own and pay the consequences on your own if you do. You do remember our agreement, right? Of course, if I flunked out, no more help. That's right, you're on the verge here. And while I'm glad you have got this far, I don't want you to throw it all away. You are so smart and you have so much potential. I know, Mom, I have kinda been a jerk. To be honest, it's so easy to get warped up in my life outside of here. Country girl going to the big city and having a good time is cliche, but I think I've gotten a good idea what the party life is about. And it's just starting to warm within, I think. Is a boy involved in any of this? Well, I've dated guys this year, but it's sort of wishy-washy. I've heard the psychological thing about finding guys to fill a void in their life, and it's even more true for girls who don't have a father around. So I don't know, I'm just feeling so guilty all of a sudden, and the guy thing made me think of that. And oh honey, he's alright. She hugged me tight for a moment, and I continued. So anyways, with all this going on, something else started happening, and I paused, debating over whether or not I would talk about the ghost hand that had scared me for all those years. What is it, hun? An intense look of concern lined her brow. So the other reason I wanted to talk is kinda weird. This weird thing that's been happening ever since I was young. I think I was 5 or 4 at the earliest. Okay. So this is going to sound so crazy, but I sometimes get touched by something I can't see. The expression on Mom's face went very grim, and right away I knew she was going to throw me into the loony bin. I know how this sounds, Mom, but please don't think I'm crazy. No, I don't think you're crazy. I wonder why you never told me. For the very reasons, overactive imagination or something, but it can't be because I felt it all the time when I was younger. I think I ignored it so much that at one point it stopped. It was only at the house and it freaked me out so much, and now it's starting again. Oh my, so it's all connected somehow. Yeah, exactly. I just really felt like we should talk. We should be able to talk about anything. But this is so weird. This is strange. So, when you say touch, what do you mean? Well, basically, it felt like someone putting a hand on my shoulder or tapping me on the back. Is that why would you ask me if I was in your room? Yeah, that would explain something. So, is our house haunted? Can something from a haunted house even follow you? I just don't know. This is all so strange. So something is definitely happening here. You said it's been at college too. Yeah, that's the weird part. Lately, it's been more frequent. In fact, the more I partied and went out with friends being stupid, the more it seemed to happen. I'd get back at my room and it would start up again. Especially when it would tap 3 times on my back. That was the weirdest. It would be exactly 3 times every time. At that, my mother's eyes lit up in realization, and her face went white for a second. You said 3 times on your back. Her word shook me with every syllable. Yeah, why? What's wrong? Sherry, are you sure? Yeah, it was 3 times. Mom, are you okay? Suddenly, tears began streaming out of her eyes. I put my arm around her and scooted in closer. Mom, what's wrong? Why are you crying? She continued for a moment longer, and I brought some tissues while she regained while she regained her composure. Finally, she settled down long enough to speak again. I'm sorry, honey, I'm crying because it's a happy thing. Well, sad, maybe a little bit of everything. I don't know what to call it. As she talked, she struggled to maintain her composure. Whatever this thing was, it was big. What is it then? Sherry, what you just told me about the 3 tabs is a big confirmation of what this means. A confirmation of what? You remember that your father was thief, don't you? I know you don't remember him when he was alive, but it's important. Yeah, I do remember you telling me that, Mom. What are you saying? I'm so confused here. Your father, he'd been deaf since birth. Since he never heard anyone speak, she couldn't say anything that you could understand. As much as he wanted to say the word, I love you, he could never get the words out. It broke my heart when he tried but couldn't. He could sign it, but he wanted something that was quicker and more personal. So we made this little system just for us. If he wanted to say I love you, he would tap me on the back 3 times. He even did this to you when you were a baby. After you'd be down for a nap in your crib, he would watch you for a minute and tap on your back 3 times before you left the room. Sherry, this experience you thought was a haunting. It's been your father this whole time. I distinctly remember him saying that he would always be proud of you. Even if you messed up, he would love you just the same. He's still around. And he's trying to let you know that he's still proud of you despite all that's happened this year. Now it was my time to bowling and it got her bowling and we held each other for until no tears were left. Ever since then, I became very close friends with my mom and I told her almost everything. It was all thanks to my dad gently guiding me to her with his personal subtle sign of love. It was that day that I spoke with my mom that I knew there was something far beyond our life here on earth, far beyond the grave. My father was still connected to me and I welcomed every tap from that day on.